Welcome to beautiful Miami. This is Dr. Silvia Kratzer, and this is a video on 3 wealth secrets I learned on Fisher Island. I was quite surprised at the stark contrast that I observed between what the super rich routinely do, it's part of their daily life, and others who would have the same access, the same options, but don't do it. So let me backtrack. So I was privileged to be invited to Fisher Island. If you know, Fisher Island is the most exclusive, most wealthiest zip code in the US. There are 640 residents on the island, but most of them only stay there during vacation. There are a handful who stay year-round, but most of them have their retreats, their houses, their penthouses, or condos for the time that they spend in Miami, which is usually winter, the winter months when it's coolest. And it's accessible only by ferry, and you have to get special clearance, you have to get a private invite to even be allowed on that island. So I toured this and was shown around this amazing double penthouse overlooking all of Miami and the bay, and was just absolutely stunning. But the education didn't end at the real estate I was able to see. More importantly was the mental real estate. Wealth secret number 1. We really literally see what we program our minds to see. I saw the private bedroom suite of this $20 million penthouse, and the first thing I noticed was the wall art, bright, right in your face as you enter, bright colors, and it had about a dozen large dollar signs painted on it. And within the dollar signs, because they were so large, there was room for little collages and images, and they were full of the owner of the penthouse, who, by the way, has mansions in Zurich and Munich, and Bogenhausen in Munich. And the artwork showed pictures of himself, his wife, and some of the things they enjoy on Fisher Island. The amenities, the tennis courts, all the beautiful lifestyle they enjoy there. On another one was a torn piece of Wall Street Journal. And I don't know, this guy is a business man, an entrepreneur, an industrialist, if you will. So perhaps he had his write-up in Wall Street Journal, or he's aspiring to. And on top of it, so each dollar sign had other kind of visionary ideas inside the dollar sign. And then on top of it were actual pieces of dollars, paper dollars, glued on it. So I was quite stunned by the striking piece of artwork, and if any of you have heard vision boards, it was like a painting or artwork. There was also a vision board. Imagine my surprise when the lady who showed me around, who works with this industrialist for 18 years and is working inside this penthouse twice a week for 18 years, was stunned. She says, "I've never noticed this before." And I said, "How can you not notice it?" And she says, "I literally don't know." And all of a sudden she goes, "Oh, this is why he's so rich, with all these artworks that in a fun, beautiful way display what he has, but also what he envisions himself." And she never in 18 years saw that, which I immediately spotted upon entering the room. And it made me aware how much the brain, the human brain, filters out that which we are open to seeing, and that which we filter out because we think it's not for us. This lady is a wonderful lady, very accomplished, very good-hearted, and absolutely the right-hand person of this industrialist while he is in Miami. So it's not like she is wonderful, but her brain literally wiped off this image that she saw twice a week, and she didn't see it until I pointed it out. So first lesson, look out for that which you see, and if you have trouble with that, literally create vision boards or put yourself in environments where you are forced to see it. But even then, this woman was forced to see it every day, twice a week, not forced, but was exposed to it and wiped it from her awareness. The second thing, so we walked around and the amenities are amazing and exclusive. They're billionaires, and there are 640 of them, and any given time there might be 150, 200 present. So whenever you go to the amenities, be that the spa, be that the beach club, or the restaurants or the bar where you can take a drink, you will be exposed to some of the wealthiest people on the planet. So I said to her, oh, wouldn't it be nice you can just go to the pool or sit at the bar, after you completed your work? And she said, the wife of the industrialist has invited me many times because they are barely at the island. And she said, I can stay here and I can use the pool. And I said, wonderful. And she said, oh, no, I always immediately go back home. This is work, and then right away I take the ferry. So as we toured the amazing facilities and amenities on this island, from the spa to the pool to the beach club, the tennis court, and many more beautiful spots you can hang around, I asked her, well, you could go to a pool after work. And she said, yes, I could. And the lady of the industrialist who she works for invited her many times, because the industrialist is there maybe 6 weeks a year, and they would invite her to stay in their penthouse and most definitely use the amenities, the pool, the bar, the beach bar, the clubs. And remember, there are 640 ultra-rich people on this residence, on this island, but at any given time there are maybe 200, perhaps 300 there who actually stay there. So there would be plenty opportunity to go to the club or the pool and socialize, speak with them a little bit. But this lady said to me, oh no, I would never do that. Immediately after work, I take the ferry back home and go back to the mainland in Miami, where she lives in a nice, but by comparison, very moderate apartment with none of the amenities. And I said, why? And she said, well, this is work and, this is home, which I would understand under any other circumstances. But here she has the richest, wealthiest people at her fingertips to socialize with, to speak in person with, to absorb their mindsets, to, at the very least, get other jobs, but ideally perhaps create business ventures together, have an idea. She literally has a billion-dollar mindset brain tank right at her fingertips that she could speak to every day for 18 years. And yet she has not done it once, because she feels it's outside her depths, that she would be considered just working for this industrialist rather than being one of them, even though she has free access to everything. And I was stunned that she indeed doesn't take that opportunity, like so many of us have opportunities right at our fingertips, and we don't take advantage of it because we feel we don't belong, we put ourselves in a box and limit ourselves, where those people who own the real estate on this island, Fisher Island, most definitely have a very different attitude. In fact, she told me how the industrialist is good friends with Barbara Becker, the ex-wife of Boris Becker, because they share, she used to live there for a long time, and they would just hang out in the pool and talk and create new deals, of course. So all of this wealth literally at her fingertips that she could avail herself and become part of, she never did. The third one, we did a business deal, and I represented her in this business deal. They gave her terms that I knew we could do better. So I boldly negotiated all the terms she wanted and I felt she deserved. And she was like stunned and went back and forth all afternoon. By the end of the afternoon, I got all the deals, all the terms, our terms, all of them. She was dumbstruck. She said, I would have never dared ask. And I said, why not? You can, the worst thing is they can say no, and the best thing you win. If you don't negotiate, it's not a business deal. And so once again, I was so surprised that she wouldn't even try to negotiate. Here's my little doggy saying hello, because he negotiates for every treat. I call it imagine action. So imagination, but imagine action. You can imagine it, and you'll naturally take the action with joy, ease, and pleasure. How pleasurable would it be to sit on a pool in Fisher Island and hobnob with the wealthiest people this planet has ever seen, with just a handful of people being allowed there, so you have immediate access. This lady's very attractive lady, speaks several languages, including German, and would have all the opportunities at her fingertips. She could have negotiated, just like I negotiated for her, which got her all the terms, every term I got for her, and she wouldn't even have dared ask for one. And she blocked out the vision board for 18 years, where it literally the dollar signs and all the beautiful lifestyle this family enjoys, and she just didn't even see it. How many ways do you block out the things that are available to you, whether that be the vision board or partaking in social circles or environments that would be beneficial to you, where you actually elevate at the very least your mindset, because like the room temperature, when you're exposed to a new mindset, you become part and parcel of that room temperature and think larger. But she wouldn't. She would immediately go back to the ferry back home, because that's where she felt comfortable. Sometimes, even though it's pleasurable to hang out in the pool or the beach bar, it takes a bit of guts, a little bit of courage to sit there. But after a few tries, you get used to it and you become part of that. And so where in your life, or you don't take that negotiation that would get you what you really want, rather than caving into the terms of the other person, whether it's in business, in a career, in relationships, or anywhere. And this, by the way, is not just related to wealth. These are not just 3 wealth secrets I learned on Fisher Island. It's also these are also secrets that apply to any transformation. Any kind of transformation you desire will require these 3 steps: envisioning it and allowing that vision, like that piece of artwork, to become part and parcel of you, who you are, the dollar signs, the lifestyle, instead of blocking it out. The allowing yourself to step into an environment, even if it's just baby steps, where you hang out and are kind of infused by that new identity that you want to create in your life. And there are many ways you could do that. You don't have to live on Fisher Island or work on Fisher Island to be able to do something similar in the area you desire transformation. And thirdly, take the action and make it happen. So the life is negotiation. You always want to be your own best negotiator. You always want to be advocating for yourself instead of caving in to whatever is given you. And that as well is part and parcel of any transformation. Bonus. There's one lady on the island I know of. I don't know her personally, but I have friends who know her. She never, ever leaves the island. Even though the ferry goes day and night, 24 hours every day, and would be no problem going, to Miami and partaking of the social scene, going shopping, whatever she would like, but she never leaves the island. She has gotten herself enclosed in the other way and trapped. She sits in her golden cage, and this little island where there's a bank, everything you need is there. There's a small bank, there's a grocery store. By the way, you can only shop in the grocery store if you have your resident card. You don't shop with anything. Cash, of course not. Credit card, no. You shop only with your resident card, and if you're not resident, you cannot shop there. But everything you need, if you're resident, is available. She never leaves the island. That's a reverse form of kind of shrinking our experience. But how many times did you not leave the island? And it may not be a rich island like Fisher Island. Maybe you have ensconced yourself on a trapped island, a poverty island, an island of I cannot be who I want to be. When the ferry is right there at your fingertips for free, 24 hours a day. For Fisher Island residents, the ferry is very expensive because what they pay monthly in maintenance fees is exorbitant. But it's available for her at no extra cost, and yet she chose to shrink her environment, and only lives on that Fisher Island. At least she lives on a wealthy island, but it's a mindset or an attitude where we no longer allow the fullness of life to be part and parcel of who we are. So perhaps think about the ways you don't leave your island where it's right at your fingertips. And for more, go to the link below, and I am more than happy to speak with you. Talk to you soon. Bye.